Hey, Refuge community. Today is December 26th, and probably most of us have finished our Christmas celebrations for this year. I wanted to do a quick check in and say hi from our Refuge team and say that our team is continuing to pray for you over your Christmas break. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. You can direct message our Refuge account on any of our social media platforms or email refuge@heartlandalliance.ca. While I have you here, maybe I can just share a couple post-Christmas thoughts with you, just for a minute or two. As I said earlier, today is December 26th. That means it's Boxing Day, the day of deals. Now, I remember back in my day, before online shopping existed, things were a little more competitive on Boxing Day. You used to have to look through flyers in advance to Boxing Day to find all the deals. Now, for those of you who don't know what a flyer is, it's basically a web page that comes in paper form to your house, often in a mailbox or newspaper. Now, we don't have time today to go into what a newspaper is, so just Google it. Anyways, once you found what you wanted in the flyer, then you had to plot out how many the store had in stock, what time they opened, and how early you would have to get to the store before opening to line up. I remember one year I wanted these nice dual computer speakers that had a sub included in the package. I wanted them for my office computer. I was a young pastor at the time and thought that my music should be able to be louder than anyone else's music in the office. They're about 300-ish dollars, but they were on sale for something like 60% off. It was a good deal, a real good deal. And so I lined up outside the store at something like 3 in the morning because the store opened at 6 a.m. for special Boxing Day hours. There's only a few in stock, so I would have to be quick to make sure that I got my speakers. By the time the store opened, the lineup outside the store was around the block with people hoping to grab one of a few great sale items. When the doors opened, it was a madhouse with people pushing to jam through the sliding doors. Once I was in, I headed straight for the table where the speakers were and was able to grab one of the boxes. Once I had wrestled my way to the checkout, paid, and returned to my vehicle, it was a very satisfying moment. I couldn't wait to tell people about the incredible experience I had to get this deal. I was filled with pride and joy about this gift I had got for myself. I was also exhausted from standing in line all night. Interesting side note, those speakers have now been connected to my work office computer for 18 years. Makes my deal all those years ago look that much better. Speaking of deals, let's jump back to the first Christmas for just a moment, because that was a real deal. As we talked about last week, Jesus was born as the promised Savior to the entire world. He came to bring light to the darkness. I hope this last week you had a chance to reflect on the amazing gift that Jesus was to all of humanity. One of the interesting pieces about Jesus' birth is that there were some people who were witnesses to the baby Jesus. There was the wise men who followed the star from a far-off land to find Jesus, and then there were the shepherds in a field nearby that were invited to see Jesus by angels. These folks got to see the baby Jesus and witness this phenomenal event that God orchestrated for the sake of humanity by sending his son to save the world. As we enter the post-Christmas season, one thing I want to draw your attention and thinking towards is your response to Jesus' birth and really the weight and significance of Jesus coming for every one of us. To help our thinking, let's just jump to a couple spots in the Bible that show us the response of both the wise men and the shepherds. For the wise men, we read in Matthew 2:11, "And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshiped him." The response of the wise men was instant. They recognized the baby king, the Savior, and they paid their worship to him. How about the shepherds? Let's look at Luke 2, a few verses 17 to 20. It says, "After seeing him, the shepherds told everyone what had happened and what the angel had said to them about the child. All who heard the shepherd's story were astonished, but Mary kept all these things in her heart and thought about them often. The shepherds went back to their flocks, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen. It was just as the angel had told them. The response by the shepherds was twofold. They first told everyone what had happened, and then second, they glorified God. They worshiped him. The news was too good to keep to themselves. The Savior, yes, the Messiah, the Lord, has been born today in Bethlehem, the city of David. A free gift for all of humanity, to all those who receive Jesus as their Lord and Savior. And that offer is good year-round, every day, even 2,000 years later. That is a pretty fantastic deal. But what is your response to Jesus? Is it joy? Is it thankfulness? Both the wise men and shepherds responded in worship. They responded with their hearts overwhelmed by the greatness of the Savior. And I hope that can be our response too. I hope the story of Christmas never gets old for you, because it is more than a story. It is transformational. I hope you never lose sight of how the Creator of the universe, God, the Father, in His greatness, loved you so much that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him will not die, but will receive an eternal gift. If you're not overwhelmed by this truth, then let me encourage you to take some time this week to reflect on how amazing God is for sending His Son Jesus. And the crazy thing is, God's plan has been unwavering right through to today. Those who experience His Son Jesus are overwhelmed to worship Him, but they don't stop there. Just like the shepherds, they go and they tell everyone they know about this amazing truth. This was God's plan for the message of His Son getting around. It is through those who have received Jesus, recognize the amazing gift they have received, and then they go and tell others. I hope your response to Jesus will also be a passion to tell others about Jesus, because this deal is too good to keep to yourself. And this is really the only deal that matters. That's all from me this week, Refuge community. If you want to connect, don't hesitate to reach out to your Refuge team, and we would be happy to pray with you, answer your questions, and support you. God bless you, and we will see you next year.